Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in. And as always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell. So every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Hey, Dave Chappelle, probably one of the greatest comedians of our time, is one of the greatest comedians of our time. There's no problem to it. There's no debate to it. For those of us who remember, years ago, he had a show called Chappelle's Show. Classic, had some classic skits. I won't say all of it was great, but and one of the classic stories that he had, well, a few of the classic skits were based on Rick James, right? And what was it, Charlie Murphy? And he said Charlie Murphy was telling stories about his days back in the days when he was hanging with his brother Eddie Murphy and hanging with Rick James and Prince. And so he tell them stories, and the Chappelle Show, they made skits out of it. So one of the skits, which was featured, a Rick James story. Rick James goes to Eddie Murphy's house. Say feet all muddy. Say Eddie had a brand new couch. Rick James jumps on it like a little kid, kicking and stomping on it, putting mud on the couch, And so they beat him up, had him crawling out the house, and the one line that he said that was funny was that they should have never gave you ninjas money. And I mean, it was hilarious in context. But they always say there's a little bit of truth in everything people say. Fast forward to 2023. And a lot of ninjas, especially young ninjas. Now, it's funny, because Rick James, the way the skit shows that he acted, that was behind closed doors at Eddie Murphy house. The story that at the time probably was 20 years old. No one ever heard. So people knew Rick James was wild. This in the third, you heard rumors, but you didn't see like videos. People. Well, I guess they didn't have social media and cell phone stuff back then. But people didn't. If you wanted to record somebody, you had to have a big old camcorder, big shoulder camcorder, one you sit on a big tripod or something like that. But anyway, you heard rumors, but you really didn't see how people act. And then when people got in front of the camera, people straighten up. It's kind of like kids. You know how we were when we was kids, and some of us still do it now, because we still got respect for our elders. When we was young, we could do some silly stuff. We can be out there running, cussing, talking loud, trying to fight, whatever. But when the elders came, and we spotted the elders, we knew we straightened up. The elders said something, we would straighten up, but like we could be in the middle of a fight. When the elders say something, that fight would stop, and then we'll just run around the corner, and then we'll continue. I mean, that's how it was, and that's how it really should be. So it's how your entertainers were back in the day. Cameras came on, they straightened up. But now you got a crop of people who, for some reason, forgot all that. They don't care that the spotlight is on them, and they try to show some level of respectability for themselves, if not for their people. They don't care. They're gonna act a fool, and they wish somebody would say something because one, they feel entitled. Because two, they're famous, they got the money, and they feel their talent is needed somewhere, and that you cannot equal anything that they can offer. So, with that being said, let's get into it. You got recent incidents. Let's look. What's the name? Odell Beckham Jr. He was sitting on a plane. Say down there naked. I think he took his pants off or something, was sleeping on the plane. They don't know if he was drunk, real sleep. Don't know what he took. Don't know what he had. But he's being disrespectful on the plane. Then they woke him up, escort him off the plane because he wouldn't follow direction. Simple directions. You got few couple, 100 people, a few hundred people trying to get somewhere, and just one person wants to sit here and act silly. You know, acting like he's entitled. And then recently you had what's his name, Shakira Richardson, the track star. Same thing, doing a little silly stuff. All I asked her to do is turn your phone off so we can go. And she, for some reason, got upset and started talking down to the people that worked there or whatever. But you could tell there was a sense of entitlement. It's like, again, no respect for themselves or the people around them. But I mainly want to talk about and then the incident with what was it? The Tank Davis and Tank Davis and Hector Garcia fight, right? Where you had Meek Mills getting into it with another fighter and his family about something petty, because Meek Mills came out, tweeted, and said it was petty himself. And then somehow Steven Jackson, who's about a year younger than I am, you know, in the middle of the melee. I don't know exactly what his part was, but usually when the camera's on and pictures are being taken, videos being filmed, people can take and see things a certain way. But then you fast forward to this past weekend, Shannon Sharpe got into a verbal altercation with a bunch of kids. Shannon Sharpe is about 10 years older than I am. And everybody knows who Uncle Shay Shay is. Everybody knows, man, that dude's probably one of the baddest professional NFL players to ever play the game. Hell, he's in the Hall of Fame. You know, can't take his credentials from him. You know what I'm saying? Just he know who he is. We ain't gotta talk about him. And disclaimer, I ain't hating on nobody that I'm discussing about in this video, because I ain't never played the NFL. I ain't made millions off of rap music. I ain't never boxed in the ring. Or I ain't never ran track. Shit, couldn't run track, wasn't fast enough. I ain't got none of those skills to brag about. All I'm saying is, as a human being, no matter what kind of talent you have, you have to have some kind of decorum in the way, you know what I'm saying, the way you act out in public. But anyway, like I say, Shannon Sharpe got Uncle Shay Shay, like to call himself, got into it verbally with some Memphis Grizzlies players. Now he said these players, one of the guys said something to him. He said in the way Uncle Shay Shay apologized, he basically saying that, yeah, this dude said something to me, said it a bunch of times, but I'm not gonna get into that. I'm just gonna apologize to everybody. Gotta be the bigger man, blah blah blah. And he says, you know, I'm not gonna lie and say it's not me, because it was me. I was just out of character. Well, it either was or it wasn't you. Either was in character or out of character. If that's what you do, is what you do. That's fine. The thing about it is, the camera's wrong. You was in a public place. Me, for some reason, I've always been able to kind of, you know, assess the situation and treat the situation and act accordingly. You're in a public place, you're in a quiet place. You don't need to act silly. We can, as long as everybody can keep a level head, we can get this resolved easily, one way or another. We can get this resolved. But I'm talking about a guy he's a grandfather. He said that that was acting up with some kids. Because these guys ain't no more than probably, I'm gonna say average 25 years old, give or take a couple of years. Kids young enough to be his children. You know, and you arguing and you out here having a verbal altercation. I mean, but then you gotta think about it. He did talk a lot of noise playing ball, you know, out there, you know. So maybe it was a spotlight was back on him and he went back to his NFL days. That could be the reason. You know, I'll give that to him. I'll take that. I'll take that over anything. But the thing is, think about it. Like I say, back in the day when we was younger, people with money, okay, let's say like this. How many times growing up, or do y'all ever remember seeing anyone in the stands acting for Spike Lee. Jack Nicholson did, I believe, one time, but nobody really took him seriously. They kind of laughed it off and, moved him on down the road. But they did get kind of upset. Well, no, they did get kind of upset with him, but they was like, oh yeah, let him get away with that because he's Jack Nicholson. Well, been bought season tickets for forever. I mean, you're not Jack Nicholson, so it is what it is. But the thing about it is, everybody can't get away with what Jack Nicholson did for some obvious reasons. But think about this. Shannon Sharpe, 55 years old. He has a suggested net worth of 14. I don't want to put the man money out there, but you can Google it and you can see the number whether they're real or fake. So let me just say this. Shannon Sharpe, 55, Meek Mill, 35 years old, Steven Jackson, 45 years old. If you Google their name and Google their net worth, they're all individually worth in the tens of millions of dollars at least. When I think of $10 million, I think of people in suits, tailor-made suits. You see the old 1929, remember back in the old Negro leagues, and you will see people in the stands watching Negro League baseball game. Black people, they have suits, ties, hats. They had their Sunday best on to go to a game. Looking dapper. See the pictures. They're all looking dapper. Even when you look at the videos and pictures, even back with the Tulsa Massacre, those brothers and sisters had on, slacks, and suits and ties, and dressed up. You see what I'm saying? But you would see like videos where they all, had some kind of decorum, some respectability about themselves. One for to embarrass themselves or their family. And that was the main thing, was that if it was anything, you would not embarrass your family in public. Saw an interview with Mr. T the other day. It's an old interview. Came up on one of my little old feeds where after he made Rocky 3, and he went to the movie theater with his mom, and the scene came up when he told Adrian to come over here and come back to my place and deal with a real man. Now he was acting, and he said his mom got upset and said, I did not raise you to speak to a lady like that, and got up and walked out. That's the stuff that we missing. Respectability, shame. Don't want to, afraid to shame the family. But no one cares. Not even 55-year-old men. Not even a 55-year-old man. He came back again, like I said, apologized to everybody, apologized to his kids and his grandson. But the thing is, dude, the damage is done. It's already out there. You said and did what you wanted to do. Now, please, y'all, let's get an understanding in real life. Shannon Sharpe would have mopped the floor with probably every last one of them guys, like Thanos in the Avengers in those movies. When Doctor Strange and that said he had like 40 million chances to 1. Got out of all of 4 billion, 7 billion, something like that chances of different scenarios, and he said they only won in one scenario. That's probably the odds that them youngsters would have had trying to fight Shannon Sharpe. But that's not the point. The point is, you gotta act a certain way. Show the kids, because now I think about it, like I say, it's already out there. Regardless, that video is going to be out there more than his apology. He can get on his show and apologize. Most of the people in the world are not going to see that apology. But what they will see is what he did on that court, and it will be played over and over and over again, millions of times, compared to the few times people will see that that apology. And the apology will probably be on YouTube. It will probably be titled, Shannon Sharpe apologizes or addresses this past weekend's, incident at the, at the Laker game with the Grizzlies. Ain't nobody gonna watch it. Very few people. I mean, people will watch it, but I mean, compared to the fight or the actual altercation, it's gonna be more people watching that. So, like I said, the damage is done, and the kids are gonna see that, and then they're gonna feel like when they get older, they're gonna feel like they can, do the same thing. But let me give y'all, before I get up out of here, a few little mindless stats right quick, okay? So, think about it. Let's go back to like the Gervonta Tank Davis fight, right? We had Meek Mill, all this money. You remember when was the movie American Gangster? Forget the movie. You can see the doggone me pictures. You had Frank Lucas. You know what I'm saying? At the heavyweight was it an Ali fight or whatever? One of the fights. And in Madison Square Garden, and he had them high dollar tickets. And the police were like, who is this sitting out front with the mafia figures and these rich millionaires? This black guy. Where he get all this money to buy, to buy a ticket? Now, think about this. In 1971, Ali and Frazier fight. Tickets range from like $20, which would be like $120 a day, to $150, which would equal to about $900 a day today. Tickets for the Tank Davis fight a couple weeks ago, tickets range from $126 to about $5,800. So see, so you have to have some kind of money to sit closer, and the only people that can really sit that close, for the most part, are entertainers. And the problem is, our entertainers, our rap entertainers, are the ones with the money, and our rap entertainers who, put out the music about violence and drug use and over-sexualization and disrespect for their people and things of this nature. They the ones with the money, or act like they got the money, or look like they got money. You know what I'm saying? So they be the ones who got the money for the tickets. And you gotta think about this whole element has spread, because that's the only kind of music they play on the radios anyway. So this whole element spreads to everywhere, to those with the money and those without the money. But the thing about it is, I could have sworn that the point of getting that much money was to get out the hood and away from the hood vibe, because you have made it. You've done something for yourself, and your thing is to bring your people up with you. But if you ain't been taught, it's going to be kind of hard to become something that you're not. I remember years ago, there was a young lady who said, she didn't want to be like her mom, because her mom was like, abusive, loud, cuss people, cuss her out, like to fight, embarrassing, disrespectful in front of people, no holds barred. And she said that she didn't want to be a mother like that. She's gonna be different. And my statement to her was, well, I don't know if I told this, but I know I thought this, that I don't see how that's possible 100%, because that's all you know. Now, and if that's all you hanging around, that's all you're gonna know. And if you put yourself in the presence of people that you feel were better parents, more structured, I don't want to say civilized, because we all civilians, but more level-headed, had more level-headed parenting skills. You need to put yourself around them people more than what you put around your mom. I ain't saying dismiss your mom, never that. Get away from your mom, never had nothing to do with your mama. Your mama was a parent the way that she was taught, on the way that she knew, how she grew up. So you can't falter from that for the most part. But she, just like you, have to understand. Well, she's oldest, but you were young. You can understand that. You have to understand that if you want to do different, you got to get around different people. You got to put yourself in different situations to at least attempt to increase your chances of being the parent that you want to be. So it's just like with money. You can not have money, be thuggish, street, whatever the case may be, and then all of a sudden you come into money. But if you don't put yourself around Warren Buffett's, do like your boy, like Jay-Z did, around Bill Gates, around do like Master P did with getting Michael Jackson's attorney. If you don't put yourself around people who make money, know how to handle money, can teach you how to handle money, you're going to blow the money. You're going to keep that same street mentality, and your chances of success, the success that you want, is going to be limited. But one more thing, side note. LeBron James. I'm circling around all the way around this, and we're going to end it like this. LeBron James. After this incident with Shannon Sharpe, and Shannon Sharpe he professes his love for LeBron. LeBron comes out and basically says that he has Shannon Sharpe's back like 24/7, 365. Now that's funny that he said that after a negative public display by an elder. You got his back because, he was ready to fight, scrap for you personally, basically is how you take it. But when Kyrie Irving came out and said that he was a Hebrew Israelite, said, tweeted a link to a video that was on Amazon that I believe is still on Amazon. And he got ostracized and punished for doing that. Dude, Brother King LeBron James, you backpedaled. Didn't have his back in the least. Pretty much said you did not agree or approve with what he said. How do you say it took your big LeBron James number 8, so however many damn shoes you got, and kicked that man in his ass under the bus, and then threw the driver the key? So when you got a brother out there trying to speak positive, a positive message to other brothers and sisters, you backpedaling, and even when you try to come back and explain, still didn't say anything. You did that with the ease when the brother trying to do something positive for us. But then when we get out here in the public and we act like we ain't got no sense and we ready to fight and get rowdy in front of people, now you got a brother back. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. Tell me what y'all think. Leave your comments below. And then share this video with the world. And with that being said, I'll leave you in peace. And I'll see you on the other side.